It hasn't told me we're not back.
Let's see. Babe. Let's see, apparently the executive producer of Dragon Quest has some words on it. We're still trying. It's a topic we have been thinking about a lot internally. The question of why Final Fantasy is so much more popular in the West. One conclusion we've reached is that it's a question of historical timing. When the Famicom came out, Dragon Quest was the key game everyone was playing. But when the PlayStation came out, Final Fantasy VII was the game everyone was playing. So the source of nostalgia is different for both groups. In Japan it's Dragon Quest, while overseas it's Final Fantasy. The truth is that if we'd put a lot more effort into localizing Dragon Quest at the time, we probably wouldn't be facing this issue today. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but we kind of messed up.
That's really sad, because I definitely like one more than the other.
We put a lot of effort into Dragon Quest VIII, we put a lot of thought on how we could appeal outside of Japan, we used a lot more regional voice acting, for example, we put a lot of thought into menu design, but we didn't want to give up the core element that made the game Dragon Quest. The game did have some modest sales overseas, but it wasn't anywhere close to the level of Final Fantasy. One thing that does stand out, in Japan the target audience for Dragon Quest is vast. It ranges from primary school students to people in their 50s. Now, Akira Toriyama's art style is cartoonish, and in Japan that doesn't alienate anyone. It's not seen as childish. But outside of Japan, I think there's often a stigma attached to that.
Which is absolutely true.
I think that's a big part of it. The animation age ghetto, where in the US, cartoons are for kids.
Yep.
Whereas it's seen as childish here, whereas in Japan it's seen as quirky.
And even then, it's still celebrated by all ages.
Right. Because I guess they understand that just because it's cartoony doesn't mean it's
childish.
Right. No, Dragon Quest games can still be very difficult and challenging, and they'll force you to try and think. Whereas I guess Final Fantasy looks a lot more mature in the West. I'm gonna blame it on the animation age ghetto.
I'm
which
going
I hate.
to accept it as a plausible reason.
Or at least, well, it's definitely it definitely contributed to the problem.
Yeah, it is a contributing factor.
Now when an adult tries the game, they'll discover that the subject matter is actually quite mature. Nevertheless, players are still left with this disconnect between how the game looks and how it plays. There's a tension that just doesn't exist in Japan. What we're seeing now is that the age of people who are playing is rising, interest is also increasing. We're trying to put a lot more effort into promoting overseas the spin-off titles we've been working on, Dragon Quest Builders and Dragon Quest Heroes, in order to soften up the ground for Dragon Quest IX. Oh, wait, 11. I was like, 9. Wait, 9 came before those. Damn it, Roman numerals. So yeah, if the problem is the animation age ghetto, there's really not anything that Square Enix can do about that.
But it's dumb and frustrating.
Yeah, that's something America has to do themselves.
I've never understood the idea of putting a stigma on a whole form of art.
I've never really questioned it beyond thinking I don't like it, but now that I think about it, I don't understand either. I wonder if that's mostly just an American thing.
I don't know.
Is it an English thing?
I don't know. Logo, are you still here, or did your internet decide it doesn't like you?
But yeah, I mean, looking at it, yeah, Dragon Quest Builders and Heroes, they're getting releases here. It's just, basically we're getting most of the Dragon Quest stuff aside from what we want. Just not monsters.
I'm laughing because I'm sad.
And I hear that Builders was very well received. I just never played it because it's not my scene.
That's not your style of game.
Right.
It's like Minecraft, but with weird puns.
And I kind of would give Heroes a try, but
I don't know anything
it's
about it.
Dynasty Warriors Dragon Quest.
Oh.
I guess I don't have that much experience with the mainline Dragon Quest games, so I'm not really going to know who any of these characters are. And that's what draws me to a Dynasty Warriors spin-off, is the characters.
I'm pretty apathetic about a lot of that kind of stuff.
So yeah, at the end of the day, what I love about Dragon Quest is the monsters. And the fact that you can create your own character in Dragon Quest IX.
And then never again?
And 10.
Oh, okay, I was gonna
But that's
say.
because 10 was an MMO. For some reason.
I mean, Final Fantasy had MMOs.
Yeah, but yeah, no, 9, all of your characters were made using a character builder. Your whole party. Which a lot of people didn't like, but I loved, because
I
they're
don't know
like...
why you wouldn't like it.
Because your characters don't have, like, tailor-made personalities. All of the personality comes from just supporting cast, and not from your actual party. I was just happy because I can make a party out of my OCs.
Well, I'm just saying,
Which is huge
do
to
you
me.
get to provide any of your own personality for it?
I mean, none of your characters really have... They're all silent protagonists.
But I'm just saying, so it's not like a Fallout kind of thing.
No. It's Dragon Quest, and all the dialogue generally comes from outside sources. You do have an exposition fairy to follow you around and talk.
Yeah, so someone else talks for you all the time for some reason.
Yeah. Well, no, I think only your party can see them most of the time. So they're more like just, they comment on everything, and you want them to shut up sometimes.
Yeah, I think I fixed a bunch of my traffic issues, which is good.
But no, the NPCs talk to you. It's just you don't ever
Respond.
directly reply. I don't think the NPCs call you out on that, which is something I hate when it happens.
Because you literally can't do anything about it. You
Yeah,
would
it's-
if you could.
It's kind of immersion breaking, because my characters are implied to be replying.
Yeah.
Just substitute my own way of speaking
you talk.
or such.
You do Super Mario RPG Mario.
Yeah, but I feel that the joke of, oh, why don't you ever say anything? I feel that's really cheap humor.
I'm like, why don't you actually do some writing?
Lol. Yeah, the animation age ghetto. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it.
Do you not like it?
It's bad. It's one of the reasons I always just figured comic books were shallow. When
Yeah, which is odd because actually
not.
a lot of comics are written directly to be very, like, mature and dark.
And I understand that now, and even like the more colorful, cartoony looking comics still can be very serious and thoughtful.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this is the problem, then,
It's never gonna get fixed.
or it's,
It's gonna be an uphill battle for it
Yeah.
to get fixed.
I think we're heading
Away
in a
from
positive
that,
direction.
Yeah.
Just
We're abandoning that stigma, but we have not abandoned that stigma.
right, because I feel that stigma comes from a generation. It's tied to a generation, and it weakens with every progressing generation.
Where
I'm saying I was born in the wrong generation.
the wrong generation.
Yee.
So where are all these guys going? There's like a lot of traffic here. Where's
See, yeah, Dragon Quest IX was a handheld game because handheld games were the predominant medium in Japan, I guess. I can't imagine that ever being the case here. Dragon Quest X was an MMO because that was the big thing, so no, they seem to be really trying to keep with the times with the series.
It's just that America's weird and sometimes stupid.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? Are you going bananas?
No, I'm sad.
Are you going bananas?
No, it's sad.
Are you going cocoa nuts?
No, not even.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The correct answer is either dun-dun-dun, like dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, or it is...
Yeah, they had an earlier interview 3 years ago on the same topic, and yeah, they seem to be saying the same thing there, basically. That being said, all the puns aren't helping the case any.
Yeah, the puns are a particularly childish thing. But again, that might be a cultural divide too.
Yeah. Again, I have no idea if the puns are as prolific in Japanese. I suspect they aren't, but wordplay is a completely different animal in Japan. It has to be, due to fundamental differences in language. It's just like how Japanese songs aren't as prone to rhyming as American songs. I suspect that's because a rhyme is seen as a much less meaningful thing in Japan, because it's just going to happen so much more with fewer vowels.
I know that, I forgot what I was talking about.
Whoa. Slouse.
Alright, so now I have all this. I have international travel is all over here with my big international airport and my cargo hub.
In 2006, the Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu had a vote on the 100 best games of all time, and Dragon Quest appeared 3 times in the top 10. With Dragon Quest 3, 8...
Dragon Quest 3 is good. I never could beat it, but it is a good game.
Yeah, 8's also good. 7 I wanna like, but that game really drags its heels. It takes forever to go anywhere.
Which game?
7. On the PS1 and 3DS.
The ones I'm most familiar with are the first 4 and the Monsters games.
Yeah, despite the first 4 games in America having generally good reviews, Nintendo had to give away copies of Dragon Warrior. So apparently, no, just it had trouble immediately.
That's so sad and dumb.
How these 4 games are among the most sought after NES titles nowadays, especially 3 and 4. One of the main aspects often pointed out both positively and negatively is that it never strays far from its classic roots, unlike other modern RPGs. Yeah? It does seem to go heavily on the nostalgia.
What does?
the Dragon Quest games. Like, sounds and jingles are very, like...
Vintage sounding.
Yes, and...
very retro.
Yes.
Alright, so there's that. Does a harbor have a subway connection? No, it does not. But then at the same time, Mario's really popular in America, and Mario's a hella cartoon.
Yeah?
I mean, that could be because the nostalgia was already established, as they were saying.
Right. Mario had a solid landing in the West. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would still say that it looks like a kid's game.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who say that Mario is childish, but I'm also sure that there are a lot of people who say Mario is childish, but still totally have played up to Odyssey, even.
Mario games do something pretty cool, and that's something I really applaud Nintendo for. And that it's along with a lot of their series, it can be enjoyable at a very wide range of skill levels.
Yeah. Although, as a person who really likes 100%ing things, I'm very sad that I'm not good at things. Because 1,000 moons. And you don't get them like you do musical notes in a Banjo-Kazooie game. You have to actually do something for a lot of them. Sometimes you get 3 at a time, yes. But still,
struck me as weird. But if they're
it was their way. Yeah, it was their way of making it a big round number, but not having to actually get it to that big round number.
Apparently, Dragon Quest V is generally cited as the
weakest,
the origin of monster collecting and training games.
Oh yeah, because in all, or is Shin Megami Tensei?
It'd have to be Mega 10, I think.
I was gonna say, a lot of people say Shin Megami Tensei was the first one where you could befriend monsters instead of just fighting monsters.
Dragon Quest V also introduced the concept of a playable pregnancy. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Okay.
Clarification needed.
What is a playable pregnancy? Never mind, I don't want to know.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Playable pregnancy.
Does this mean you have there's a party where one of the party members is pregnant, I guess, and you can keep using them anyway? That's irresponsible.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have a pregnant person risking getting hit in the belly.
Or getting hit at all with any dangerous degree of force.
Well, I'm just saying, getting hit in the belly would be what would be able to possibly trigger a miscarriage, which would be a thing I don't want in a cartoony game. I mean, frankly, I wouldn't like the discussion of miscarriages in, most media, but if you have something like a horror game, at least it's going to treat it with, serious respect. And if it doesn't, then it's a crappy horror game, because horror games are supposed to approach taboo subjects with a respect to make it so that people can address those subjects they would be otherwise afraid to address. That's part of the reason that I really can't stand, torture porn, because it just shits on the very idea of, how horror can let us discuss subjects that we normally wouldn't. Because it's just oh yeah, isn't this cool? No, it's not. It's not.
Apparently, until every Dragon Quest before 10 was released on a Saturday.
Before 10?
Yeah, 10 was released on Thursday.
Does that include all the side games?
It just says every title continued to be released on a Saturday until the release of 10. Maybe?
Because if so, that's a lot of titles. I wonder how much money I spend terraforming in this damn game. I think half the time you're here, I'm terraforming. But everything's so mountainous. Which mountains are fine, but not when I need to make a road there.
And they don't taste like anything.
They're not even round, and they don't taste like anything.
Oh, it's so good.
Those guys who do that are so serious when they talk, too. They do such a good job. I mean, I swear, it's like a bad lip reading. Because it looks like they're saying something else and they're just being dubbed over with this nonsense. But no, they're actually saying that stuff. And, like, they mean it.
There was another Dragon Quest Monsters released last year. Terry's Wonderland Retro.
Yeah, I know of that one.
Oh.
It's, I think, a remake of the first one.
Another one. Oh, nothing for us.
Dear Japan, can you translate like just one copy and send it to us, please?
Yeah, I mean, I could just pirate it, but I don't wanna.
Plus, the other thing is, by pirating it, that's not encouraging them to make it here because you're not making the saves.
I wouldn't be able to play it portably unless I cracked a 3DS, and that's work and money.
But also, you just feel like a bad guy. Because, I mean, you wouldn't download a car.
I mean, I hopefully will never have to.
Although we are in the day and age where you could download a car.
Yeah, but I really don't want to.
So, in other words, you wouldn't download a car.
I hope not. Let's hope the day never comes where I have to decide meaningfully.
Well, you'd have to have a 3D printer first anyway. You wouldn't download a 3D printer.
Oh no. Sus. Who is phone? Not I.
You are currently phone.
Oh no. Apparently the remake of Dragon Warrior Monsters 1 had 609 monsters.
So it was vastly expanded then.
Yeah. And I think that the remake of the second had a lot more than that.
We'll never know.
I mean, we can, if I ever will myself enough to.
If you will yourself to be chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where all that trash is coming from. It's coming from the trash dispensaries.
I was born in the wrong timeline.
The one where Dragon Warrior
Wasn't successful here. How do I jump timelines?
The Mandela.
I don't have one.
Well, choose to.
I'm not in that timeline.
Just be rich. Shin.
Goog.
Shin, just be rich. Shin.
Goog. Tatsunoko.
How's the water? Ooh, I need to...
The windmills.
I need to stick another machine over here. By the way, a new Doom is coming out.
Doot.
Which means you can get the sauce machine back.
Didn't they just release Eternal?
That's what I mean.
Oh, did you hear that Blizzard screwed up again?
I'm not surprised.
They remade Warcraft 3 and everything.
Oh yeah, I know about
forever.
that. Yeah, they did a really bad thing.
They
with that,
destroyed it. They destroyed Warcraft 3.
Yeah, and I really liked Warcraft 3.
Like, they ruined existing copies of it.
Yeah, if you buy the new Warcraft 3, they will delete your access to the previous Warcraft 3, and the new Warcraft 3 can only be played in online mode. Which means that you can't even play like the campaign mode on your own.
I mean, I get the online is like a major focus of it, but here they've removed a lot of features from that too.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who are very mad about that.
Hence the campaign, Warcraft 3 refunded.
Yep.
It's still amazing that they screwed up the release of the remake so hard, it actually ruined the original game.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And that's not a good kind of remarkable.
Blizzard's been on a real
All the major ones have been. Look at Bethesda. Bethesda's almost folded their company. They did so bad.
It was just one game release, right?
It was one continuous doubling down of a game release. They did the wrong thing, and instead of making things right, they made things worse and worse and worse.
So basically, they did not pull a Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, they did.
Where they released something and it was terrible and everyone hated it, so,
they literally destroyed the universe and started over?
Yeah, they just literally just rebuilt the game to be good. Which is actually, I mean, coming from a AAA developer, that seems like a shockingly
mature decision.
Yeah. Basically say, you know what, we screwed up, let's make it right.
Yep.
And they actually succeeded, because...
Yeah, people love the new 14 from what I understand.
Makes me wish I were into MMOs. Because,
I'm not into MMOs.
The idea of... I mean, that sounds like a massive commitment, completely rebuilding an MMO.
Well, but another example of it working and being praised is a lot of people really want to go see the Sonic movie now. That were absolutely opposed to the idea beforehand.
And they only changed one thing.
Now, that one thing required them reworking the entire movie.
And that one thing is the main character. But
yeah.
Still, I mean, it basically was the developers listening to being receptive and saying, "Oh, you hate it that much? Well, okay, I guess we'll remake it."
Yep.
Mind you, I still don't see. That doesn't seem like it changed everything, because at the end of the day, it's still a video game, a live-action Sonic movie, which you're gonna have to do an awful lot, I think, to make that good.
I think
I think there are a lot of ways to make that bad.
There are probably a lot of ways to make that bad, but booking Jim Carrey is not one of them.
I don't think he really has that Eggman look, but...
Have you seen him when he becomes the Eggman?
No.
Oh god.
He changes his design?
Yeah.
Oh, he gets fat? Cool.
I don't know if he really gets that fat right away, but I wouldn't be surprised if later he has more weight on or something. See, this is him early.
Okay, see, I thought that was just his design the whole way through.
No. Come on. This is him towards the end of the movie.
Okay, I mean, he's a bit scrawny for an Eggman, but no, I do like that look.
Yeah, he really looks a lot like him towards the end. And I can't get the picture to pop up on the side and get bigger.
What's the internet?
Are we crashing this by doing this? No, just drop it.
That said, I guess I guess the voicing also kind of hurts it for me because
He doesn't sound anything like Eggman.
Yeah, and
He doesn't have nearly gruff enough a voice.
yeah, it's not deep enough. But because
There is no time to listen to music.
get a load of this, get a load of this, get a load of this. Ah, I can't believe this. Oh my god.
Although I do have to say, Jim Carrey is a good choice if you're looking for someone to ham a role up.
Right, and
Because he does do that very well.
I will say that hamming it up is one of the most important things for an
About
Eggman.
Eggman. Yes.
You can't have I don't think there's ever been I don't think there's ever been a good Eggman that wasn't a big ham, but I don't think there was ever any Eggman that wasn't a big ham. I don't think there ever has been much of a bad Eggman, though. I guess the Sonic 06 one was the weakest, but that might be Sonic 06 being weak.
And Sonic 06 was very good.
I mean, say what about Sonic Boom, its Eggman felt like an Eggman.
And the other thing I really liked about it, like I said, was there were some times where he got really meta, and I thought it was funny.
Right, which...
Although apparently some people hated it, but I thought it was really funny.
I'd say that Eggman is an acceptable villain to get meta because he's a ham. But no, Eggman has to be just bombastic, completely just all in.
Yeah, he has to be a complete goofball.
Like, looking back, I guess he's had different kinds of voices, like The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Robotnik was different, but I'd still say he had a good, his voice was perfect to the role. I don't think he's ever had a bad voice actor.
You don't think he's ever had a bad representation?
Right. I just feel that, I guess, Jim Carrey is the biggest departure from the norm, flavor-wise. He feels a bit more snarky,
I don't know. There's sometimes where Eggman's snarky.
a bit less grandiose.
Who? Jim Carrey?
That's the impression I got. I guess I only watched that one trailer, though. I kind of want to see it now, just for the Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I do think, though, that there is every chance that it will earn its, acclaim if it actually can get acclaim.
Yeah. And video game movies can be good. Detective Pikachu proved that.
Detective Pikachu, Wreck-It Ralph, to the extent that it's a video game movie in
It's
the
a movie
way...
about video games.
Yeah, it's a video game movie insofar as it is a movie about
I'd say a great
video
example, an
games.
even better example is Wreck-It Ralph the first, but
Yeah.
the two was certainly competent. But yeah, no, I'm specifically talking movies based off of a video game
Franchise, yes.
And much like games based off of movies, most of them are bad. And I don't even think that's just Sturgeon's Law coming into play here. I think there's just part of the fact that they're trying to cash in on a well-known franchise is holding them back. But yeah, it'll take more than salvaging Sonic's design to make this movie competent, even.
But it is praiseworthy that they
went
would
through the
take the
effort.
time, yeah.
Yes, I think that is respectful of them.
So
They're being respectful to their fan base.
more so than the game developers.
God damn it, Sega! Sega's disrespectful to their own development crew.
Oh yeah, they are.
And it keeps biting them.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that in the past 10 years, the two best Sonic games were not made by Sonic Team. And one isn't even a Sonic game!
Yeah, again, Freedom Planet, best Sonic game in my book.
Mania's really good.
Mania was good. Though I still feel it shared the problems common to all Sonic games.
Which, in this case, being...
Just I feel the core gameplay is flawed in several ways. Like, the momentum, I don't feel like you're fighting the momentum. Fine platforming is clumsy because of momentum again. It lauds high speed, but you can't really.
There are a couple times you can.
Again, I guess my biggest complaint with Mania is that they're rehashing. Most of the game is rehashed from other games.
But what I really hope is that it sets a precedent that they can do it, and they get the chance to make additional ones where they get to make more of their own levels.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great thing.
Because I guess I've given up on Sega. I give up. They're not going to do it. And if they do, it's going to be a fluke.
Well, no, I haven't given up on Sega. I've given up on Sonic Team. Because Sega still was the ones who permitted...
yeah, but they're not the ones who built
Mania.
it. Well, that's true. Sega never was, but... I guess I'd give it up on the Sonic franchise, then.
See, and again, I haven't given up on the Sonic franchise.
I feel Mania was a one-off success.
See, and I don't. I think that especially if they could do things like get Headcanon Studios to make more games, since it's clear that the developer
understood right without them.
Well, he understood what he was doing and did what the fans wanted, and the fans rewarded it.
I guess Sega's been kind of quiet on the Sonic front lately, haven't they?
Except the movie.
Oh, yeah, and I guess the racing game.
The racing game.
What? I kind of want to look into that, but the character roster turned me off. Along with the fact that I can never stay invested in a racing game for long. I want to look to see if there's any announcements on this front, but if there were, I would have heard about it without looking.
Maybe.
Probably. The same way I'm looking specifically into seeing as Dragon Quest Monsters? Dragon Quest Monsters? Yes.
Yeah, but you just found out that they made another remake last year that you didn't know about.
Let's see, what's Sega talking about? The movie, Sakura Wars...
Wait, isn't Sakura Wars an NIS game?
No, it's just happens to be very anime. Which makes it look like an NIS game, because NIS is all anime. Here we go, upcoming games. Sega has a lot of small titles that I don't know exist. Sega really likes to do that. Like Humankind and Vanquish. And Football Manager. Yeah, the Sonic front is just the movie currently.
Which does make some level of sense.
Yeah. I like how the Sonic section isn't even mentioning forces. I guess there's just nothing to say.
Although, like I said, I'm really entertained by the fact that Andy was on the...
That what?
That Andy was one of the people who made the edgiest song on the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
The theme of Infinite?
Yeah. He,
Him and the guy from Hoobastank.
The, staff of,
I've actually watched videos going over all the lyrical pieces, and oh my god, the lyrics are just Oh, they're too much. I can't handle it. I'm overwhelmed by
How edgy it is.
something.
The thing is, though, Andy says he's really happy it became a meme.
I think that's a... He sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, he said he thought it was really funny that it became a meme.
I wonder if he thought about it while he was recording it.
Well, what happened was he said they gave him a call and asked if he and Tyler, who both are members of Danger Kids, he got a call of them saying, hey, would you want to do a song for us for this game? And he said, it would be really great if we could do like a bad guy song because our music is kind of that style. It's kind of a dark style. And then they said that he was going to get the main villain song. He's like, yes, this is going to be great. And then he said that he saw that became a meme and he's like, this is hilarious.
So he can laugh at himself.
Yeah,
I think that's a great ability.
Yeah, no, he said he doesn't care. He had fun with it. His music is on a vinyl produced by Sega. He got the excitement he wanted out of it, and if people want to have fun with it by making fun of it, he doesn't care.
He sounds like a great guy.
Oh yeah, no, Andy's great. He's one of the people who I host on this because he streams video games. Yeah, that's where I heard him talking, was on the stream for when he was playing Tarkov, I think, one night.
God, Sonic Forces could have so easily been so much less mediocre. What is a AAA game, even?
A miserable pile of secrets. Oh wait, that's humans. What is a man?
See...
Oh yeah, that's another one that screwed up everything. Konami!
And, I mean, I'd say their biggest crime is just not doing anything. You know what? What's Konami up to?
Pachinko machines, mostly.
What is they're going to be talking about on their English site?
Probably nothing that will be of any level of satisfaction to you.
Probably just more Castlevania compilations.
So they're going to cash in on Iga even though they fired him.
Yeah? Oh, Konami. Fresh, new, fun, and excitement, always.
Is that so?
That's gonna be your tagline. And here we are, Konami Gaming.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Konami Gaming announces R2 Gaming as its exclusive service partner for Canada. Virgin Voyages selects Konami's Synchros Casino Management System for its founding fleet of ships.
So yep, gambling.
Konami Gaming's Lori Hulk is highlighted in Magazine's annual People to Watch.
What are we watching her for?
I don't know.
Is she gonna do something cool? Like fix Konami? Because I doubt it.
Oh, is Konami Gaming just their gambling part? If so, get a better name.
No, it might be everything.
Oh. Wow, man, I like Sega's homepage a lot more than this. It felt a lot more...
Accessible?
Yeah, and this is... They're talking a lot about, I guess, holdings, financial results.
Yeah, because that's what they are doing. They're worried only about, like, making shareholders happy because that's what their aim is money. I mean, which in and of itself isn't bad. I don't have any opposition to a company making money.
Without being somewhat business-minded, a business will fail.
Yeah, and I want people to be in employ, and you can't employ people if you don't have the money to employ people.
Let's see, latest news. This is in Japanese, but it looks like generic casino fare. More casino stuff. Some girl with a smartphone.
Oh, those are your favorites.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have a smartphone and you're a girl, nuh-uh. News? Alright, let's see some news. You said fun and excitement. I haven't seen either of those.
I've mostly seen stock results.
And just generic casino games.
That's really funny.
Okay, so nothing in 2020. Alright, how about 2019? Late 2019. Jikyo Pawafuru Kuroyaku and Winning 11 series selected as titles for Culture Program. I don't know what any of that is.
Something about powerful.
Mm-hmm. International esports competition. Japan representatives decided. Konami launches first music game pro league in Japan. Okay, there, we have something video game related. I don't care about it, but... Holy shit, Konami, what are you? Like, how do you have all these financial reports when you're not doing anything? Oh
So
my god.
basically, they're resting on the laurels of stuff that's already happened.
You're so ugly. What happened to you? Why are you ugly? You're supposed to be magic.
Why aren't you magic? You're supposed to be magic.
Konami Mahjong Fight Club contract renewal. Japan is a weird place.
Oh, what? You don't do Mahjong Fight Club in your spare time?
E-Baseball Pro League. So apparently they're doing a lot of, I guess, league stuff?
Yeah.
Shareholders. Oh my god, you're so boring, which is the worst thing for you to be.
Well, that's the worst thing for an entertainment thing to be boring.
Alright, they mentioned DDR. I'm pretty sure that's widely considered to be a video game. Konami obtains the Excellent Health and Productivity Management certification.
Ooh, that sounds like some major gaming news.
Yeah, I guess Konami's dead. Which is a shame, because that's gonna kill a lot of big IPs.
Yeah, and a lot of people have already said that. A lot of people have already said that basically...
Yeah, I mean, I figured as much, but looking at this, it's really damning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's bad. Like, it's genuinely the collapse of a game company that
Fine.
people used to adore.
I guess at least Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still alive. I
For now.
guess. Yeah, well, I mean, nothing lasts forever, but... Alright, Capcom, what you doing? I mean, other than making game compilations.
I was gonna say Mega Man compilation.
Which admittedly are doing better than Konami at. Well, I mean, at least you made Mega Man 11.
Oh, they also made a really, really, really successful horror game a couple years ago.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7. Yeah, which was creative and good. Monster Hunter's been doing very well. So... Oh, autocomplete says Capcom versus Konami. That doesn't look like there's even a fight right now. Konami's just...
Asleep forever now.
Yeah, Konami just is casinos. Whereas Capcom is at least video games. Oh, top video result. Capcom is crushing it. What, Konami? No, Konami didn't crush Konami. Konami just... They had a
Fell
heart
down.
attack. Heart attack. Just looking at the big boys. What are, well, the guys I thought of as the boys. What you up to? Resident Evils 5 and 6 on Nintendo Switch. Oh. I don't think anyone cares about those two Resident Evil specifically.
Well, I gotta dump a bunch of soil onto my really tall plateau that I've made.
Yeah, Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection releasing.
Which is several of what, the worst games you said?
The hardest. And they are very beloved.
You just don't know why.
Yeah, the Zero series. I want to love it. But I can't. I hate their core mechanics. Like the upgrade system basically tells you not to use it. And it makes you feel bad for using it. So you're basically... The game tries and...
Oh yeah, it's the one that upgrades are bad?
Yeah, they're Cyber Elves. You can spend Cyber Elves to get 1-ups or E-tanks or life-ups or stab boosts. But whenever you do it, you basically get a permanent knock against your score for all further levels. And it's also pointed out whenever you do use one of these Cyber Elves, they die. So you feel bad for doing it. And in later games, getting a high score, like a really good score at the end of a level, is the only way to get like boss weapons, which means basically you can't use Cyber Elves or you won't get a good score and you won't get these new abilities. So it's like, alright, here's this interesting upgrade mechanic. Don't use it. Don't.
You want to have fun? Well, you're wrong.
Basically, you want to do a minimalist. They want you to be like a minimalist speedrunner. That's how the game is meant to be played, and that's not how I play games.
That's actually,
Then there are the ZX games, the two of them, and it's slightly Metroidvania-ish, kind of. It's like Mega Man, but with exploration, so that's nice. It's not as refined, but I'd say it's more accessible. It's the Inti Create series. But no, the Zero series has a really interesting plot for a Mega Man game. It has fun character designs. It's just... There's some stuff I can't get over. So yeah, Capcom's big thing currently is that, Resident Evil 3 remake. I guess they're still supporting...
Oh yeah, apparently the Resident Evil remakes they've been making, though, are doing really well. Like, people have really, really appreciated them.
I hear they're good. They're still supporting Monster Hunter stuff.
Which again, even if it's not my type of game, they apparently are doing a good job at it.
I want to like Monster Hunter, I just don't. So I guess that's my sort of thing with Capcom right now. You're making good stuff, but I don't like it.
You're making good stuff, just not my kind of good stuff.
So I can't really approach Capcom, but I can distantly admire them.
You can respect them.
Yes. Unlike Konami, who is just nothing now.
They're the worst.
They're not even the worst. They are nothing to me.
I just mean they also apparently treat their people really bad. I mean, they are the worst.
I suppose they make me sad. I am disappointed. They disappoint me above all else. Because they are nothing, but they could have been so much more. They could have been something.
They were something, and then they became not something.
Yeah, just... playing Bloodstained, they could have made that. That could have been them.
Yeah, but they fired two of their most beloved developers of all time.
And stopped doing anything.
Except pachinko machines.
No one cares about pachinko machines.
Outside of Japan.
They're not even round, and they don't taste like anything.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
I mean, is Japan happy with Konami? Is pachinko something that's celebrated? are they seen as nothing in Japan? Their homeland.
I don't know. Why don't you look up the reports for that?
Let's see, Namco. I'm just assuming Namco's... Well, Namco is Namco. They're definitely doing things. Are they trying hard? Are they doing well? I don't know. But they're doing a lot. So at least that sharply contrasts them to Konami, who is nothing. God, I love indie games.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I don't want to be a gaming hipster. It's just that all the games I like happen to be my smaller studios. Like this game, how many hours have I put into this game? I put 140 hours into this game. Yeah, because EA destroyed SimCity.
Yeah, for me, again, it's either indie games or Nintendo.
Yeah, it could have been SimCity. These developers could have been on SimCity and made SimCity. And EA destroyed SimCity. They bought Maxis and then sucked it dry of everything except the Sims. And just destroyed the whole company.
God. See, at least Nintendo still can make good things. Fairly reliably. The Pokemon company's on thin ice with me, but...
Although, again, I think that comes down mostly to your design preferences.
No, from our side, like, everyone's kind of mad at Pokemon Company right now. Not even the design, just like for the game design choices.
I know that I personally am not all that.
They're charging a lot for Sword and Shield's support features.
Yeah, for home and all that. I do think, yes, that's a big flaw in there.
And that the DLC you had to buy separately for Sword and Shield, even though they're the same damn game.
Yeah, you have to pay twice for it. It ends up, if you own both games, you have to spend something like $100 up front, and you have to pay something like $50 a month.
Not a month, like a year.
For the transfer stuff, it's like a monthly. I actually saved the conversation.
They can't charge that much.
Yes, you're right. Yearly $16 subscription for home. Nintendo Switch Online is $20.
Yeah, and you need that too. You need to subscribe to 2 things.
Yeah. And it's $20 a year for Switch Online?
And I mean I had Pokemon Bank, which was about cost half as much.
And does a lot less.
Yeah, and I guess for
a lot of people actually said that Bank is like a joke. It's just there to make you have to buy the full thing.
And I guess Home has a free version, which is not very usable sounding. I don't know, just... And again, Dexit in the first place pissed a lot of people off. The graphical quality.
Although, what pissed people off a lot more was that so many people knew it was going to be DLC later. And then, sure enough, now you can buy the other Pokemon into the game.
Yeah, and just how the core game feels like you're paying more for less. No. It doesn't look good. But then looking at, like, what else has Nintendo been doing recently? Mario Odyssey? Great. It's solid, and there's so
lot
much
of people
there.
A lot, even though it's not my type of game, of people loved Breath of the Wild.
Right, Breath of the Wild? Huge!
People find it to be like
one of the
best Zelda game.
Right. Splatoon? Ambitious, I mean...
Not my style, so I don't have much to say on that, but...
But, it's flavorful. It was
a new IP of the last generation, and it earned its respect.
Right. And there's ARMS, which was like if Splatoon wasn't successful. So no, Nintendo, they stumbled. Fire Emblem. It's being Fire Emblem. I hear that the people like it.
Obsessed with Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And I'm not one of those people. I'm not even like 1% obsessed with Fire Emblem. I don't care about Fire Emblem as a game at all.
I'd say I'm like 10% maybe.
No, I don't care about Fire.
Like the new Kirby, it's okay. Actually, it's a bit underwhelming, but it's decent. Nintendo really hasn't had much in the way of failures.
The Wii U.
I mean, game-wise.
The Wii U library.
What?
A lot of people said that basically all the games for the Wii U were just not good, or
That's
just too gimmicky to actually be worth
Those
playing.
people are dirty liars. Like,
I know some people who said they literally only own the Wii U so that they can play Smash for that, and then Smash ended up being an embarrassment because of the fact that the online was so bad.
those people are... I don't like them. Like, New Super Mario U, Mario 3D World.
I know a lot of people who said New Super Mario U was probably one of the worst of the newer
No, that was
Mario
New
games.
Super Mario Bros. 2.
No, New Super Mario Bros. 2 also got a lot of criticism because they said that you, just kind of passively beat it. But that's...
Mario 3D World was great.
3D World, not my type of gameplay, but I do respect what they were trying to do. And I like it a hell of a lot more than some of the things that they've done with Maker. Even though I like the idea of Maker, I don't like the execution of Maker.
Me neither. I just don't feel there's enough to... I don't know, it just...
And someone I was talking to the other day had one of the same complaints I did about it.
The pants.
Super Mario World is probably the most comfortable controls for a Mario game. It has really tight controls, you feel in control of yourself, you have decent jumping, you have the spin jump, which is nice, the power-ups all seem to work for their game, everything is good, and then the way that they implement it, you feel clunky when you're playing it, and he said Mario feels heavy, and not as in he's a fat plumber, but as in he actually feels like his jumps don't feel the same, and it makes the gameplay not feel as fun to him.
I did not notice that. Smash 4 was good. I will defend Smash 4. Not
Smash
the
4
online,
was better than
the
Brawl.
game.
Smash 4 was better than Brawl. I will say that.
And while it wasn't as good as Melee, Brawl was a fine game.
Yeah.
It's just that Melee
It
made
took
look...
so many steps back.
Yeah, it took a few forward.
I didn't...
It tripped.
I don't
It definitely
really...
tripped.
The only thing I can name that I appreciated about it was that Diddy Kong was in it.
I liked a lot of the characters.
They threw a tantrum about the story mode. They made the game slower. They got rid of, obviously, my favorite modes, which is more personal to me. They got rid of my favorite character, which is obviously personal to me. But if you're affecting my opinion of it, I think it was genuinely a huge step back.
Right, and Smash 4 really corrected a lot of that.
A lot of it, yes. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
And they improved in a lot of ways. I don't like how they made a fuss over the story mode, because that's stupid.
Oh yeah, that's the one where they threw the tantrum on the story mode.
Hey, you're sharing the story mode? Well, you're not getting one anymore. And then I guess in Smash Ultimate they're like, here, but you know what? You liked it, so here, have one.
Yeah, no. That was... I don't know. I really feel like, as much as I like Kirby, what's his name?
Sakurai?
Yeah, Sakurai has a really frustrating attitude towards game development.
I'd say just Japanese businessmen.
Well, yeah.
Yoshi's Woolly World was solid.
Yoshi's Woolly World was a game.
It's the best. It's the second best Yoshi game, probably.
I've been told that every Yoshi's Island except the first Yoshi's Island was atrocious.
Yeah. That's why Woolly World is the second best Yoshi game.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy Yoshi's Story. I know there are people who really enjoy Yoshi's Story.
I want to like Yoshi's Story more than I actually do.
Yeah, I've been told there are people who really, 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 really like Yoshi's Story.
It's a cute, it's an adorable game.
The biggest problem I have with it is, as to why it can't be cute, is because it came from such an early generation of 3D gaming. Early 3D looks awful! Terrible!
I'm not sure I'd even call it 3D.
They're all 3D modeled. They're just pre-rendered graphics.
Oh.
They're as 3D as Mischief Makers is.
I never considered it 3D, but I guess... God damn it, why does everything have to be 3D? Why?
And again, I know that part of it is you had to have an awful generation of 3D to be able to make a good generation of 3D.
But even good 3D isn't any better than good sprites.
I adore sprites. I will be one of those old men who always just...
In a 2D game, sprites have no weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't know... Like, I would have been very satisfied if Bloodstained had been...
Symphony of the Night type graphics.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been heartbroken.
You know,
although they did a lot of apparently really cool things.
Everybody would have been happy with that. Everyone, I'm pretty sure. Except maybe some Japanese businessmen. Making a sequel to 20XX, and the main thing they're going with is replacing the weird flash graphics with sprites, with like classic style sprites.
Does this make you happy?
It's the number one complaint everyone has with the game.
That it's sprites?
No, that it looks like a flash game.
I mean, it did look like a flash game.
It
really did look like a flash game.
I want to disagree, but I don't.
Yeah, no, it looked like a flash game. It looked like it looked like a Newgrounds game.
Its graphics were its biggest weakness, easily. And I'm not a stickler for graphics.
I don't know if Logo is still here. I'm guessing not. But if Logo is still here, I recommended
Spelunky?
Starward Road to somebody the other day.
Oh. Mm.
He said that he really likes Isaac type games and he wants more of them, and so I said I would recommend Starward Road then because it's very Isaac-y, but it's sci-fi.
Even Nintendo has abandoned sprites.
Yeah.
And that's sad. Sad.
And meanwhile, indie games are all like, oh yeah, sprites, I love sprites!
Not as much as they used to, but they still do, yeah.
Yeah, no. If you're wanting some sweet, sweet pixels in your games, go for an indie development.
Mitsubishi.
And I do love my pixels.
Yeah.
Pixels are pretty. And again, I have nothing against 3D. It's just that 3D has to work with what you're doing. Don't make something 3D just to make it 3D.
And people, that is exact, and you have to make it 3D now. That's the only thing. Sprites, there are no sprites. They don't exist. It's easier to do good 2D than good 3D.
Yeah, and I guess one way of saying it is, in modern times, it would be really hard to market early Wolfenstein-style shooter game. 3D graphics work well for a shooter game. It makes sense. I understand it. I have no opposition to...
Right. And there are things you can only do with 3D, really.
Yeah.
And I will respect
Like, you
that.
definitely could not do a genuinely 2D multi-person shooter. It would just be awkward and clunky, and if someone managed to pull it off really well, it would probably end up being considered a gimmick game more than anything.
Yes. Like, you couldn't have a 2D Overwatch.
Yeah.
It just... Well, and if you could, it wouldn't be worth the effort.
You could, but at what cost?
Right. So making that 3D?
Like me leveling this entire landscape just so I can put an airport in. I'm destroying an entire mountainside to put in an airport because it's the only place I can fit the goddamn airport.
But like, the new Super Mario Bros. Games could have totally just been 2D.
Yes.
That said, I mean, looking at the later Switch games, well, like Nintendo Switch games, I can't think of any of them where I would have said, no, that should have been sprites. Mario Odyssey had to be 3D.
Odyssey also had sprites in some parts.
And it was weird, but
I thought it was cute.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild.
Now, what I didn't find cute was actual realistic humans alongside Mario. I found that weird. I found that very weird.
Like, Splatoon had to be 3D. Because it's a shooter.
Yeah.
A 3D shooter.
Yeah, a shooter, unless you're doing like a stick fight type of game, has to be 3D.
I guess Fire Emblem could have been 2D. Huh. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. I guess 3D looks okay again, but I miss sprites. I don't want them to come back.
Yeah, and like, that's definitely the old man in me kind of situation going on. Probably at least a little bit.
Also, as someone who likes weaker systems that happen to be weaker, I feel like games take way more processing power now than they really need to.
See, I don't think that that's necessarily a thing. I think that there are plenty of examples where
Why does
they sacrifice functionability for some other bragging right.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't, not at all. Accessibility is very underrated. I think accessibility should be an extremely high priority. Because it's, well, tied to base playability. We don't need a PlayStation 5. What's a PlayStation 5 even gonna do?
My biggest problem, okay, I don't hate consoles. I want to say that to start, because what I'm going to say sounds like I hate consoles. But at this point, consoles are just computers minus the ability to use them as a computer.
And they're a bit cheaper. A bit.
Barely.
I guess if you're a laptop gamer, yes, they're cheaper.
Because, like...
They're cheaper than a gaming laptop. Oh boy.
Yeah, and a gaming laptop isn't going to be as good as a gaming desktop. Unfortunately, a gaming desktop is not portable, which in your case, since there's no such thing as internet where you live, is a problem.
See, and I love the Switch because at least the Switch does something you couldn't do with a computer. It has just a higher level of portability.
Yeah.
What's the PlayStation 5? Is it just a +1 PlayStation 4?
I mean, kind of.
What is the Xbox numbers? I don't even remember which number they're on now. Except it's stupid.
Yeah, they...
Oh, I think they went back to just Xbox with no number.
Oh, they just have another Xbox?
I think? I don't know it. I remember hearing it and I thought, that's stupid. So I know it's stupid. But I knew it was going to be stupid. Call Sony uncreative, at least they're... Well...
No, they're just counting up. You can't say that.
Yeah, maybe I guess you can call them boring, but at least it's...
Consistent.
Yeah, I don't know what Nintendo's doing, but it's better than what Microsoft's doing.
Nintendo...
They just do whatever.
Nintendo names everything, which is kind of nice.
It's... Naming is kind of random, but... Microsoft's is just backwards and counterintuitive. What are like you keep throwing in these numbers, but they're always the wrong ones.
Do you know how counting works, Microsoft?
See, Sony always uses numbers, but they're the right numbers. Nintendo just doesn't use numbers at all. Except for the one time they did, at least it was a sensible number.
Yeah, it was relevant to what they were trying to market.
And then they decided no more numbers. God damn it, Microsoft. I've been questioning you ever since your second system. Naming-wise. And then you just kept getting worse.
Or weirder.
My mouth is running out of mouth.
So this apparently is the stream wherein Shin and Tails bitch about everything.
I've got that power.
I forgot I have the upgraded one of those. Airhorn.wave.
I need a drink.
We'll go get one.
My mouth ran out of mouth. It's impossible forever.
Industry. Which industry should I expand? That looks so great. Oh wait, was this the courthouse? Yeah.
Focus the number.
So let's see. I have enough educated people that I can probably make some offers.
Takes up. Knee repair. Oh, it's much better.
Is that where you have like Nintendo Mii's and you fix their problems?
It's where you ship them to Nintendo to put them together.
With glue?
That's woo. Oh, you said glue, and now I'm sad.
Huh?
It reminded me about my modeling mishap.
Oh.
Oh, I have a huge hole in my heart now from nail clippers.
I still don't think it's as uncommon as you're worried that it is.
Yeah, no, again, it's most of that. I feel bad about everyone goes way more in on perfecting their models than I do, and I just want to put them together. It's Pez.
Alright, so... how to get more smart people over here.
God, shut up about Bloomberg already.
He spent a lot on advertising. Like, to the point where it's like all the commercials.
Oh,
And like, I don't have any political statement to say. I don't want to, because I don't like talking politics on my streams, because I prefer this to be a place where people can just come and get away from all that crap. But Jesus Christ, with all the advertisements, really.
I hope you have ad block for YouTube, just saying.
Yeah, it's like 85% of the ads I see on things.
And I don't get that kind of advertising of just, I guess, trying to...
harass you into whatever.
Yes. Like, I know McDonald's does that a lot. Or just...
Does that mean you're not loving it?
Yes, that is exactly what that means. Like, businesses that just... Or like, Liberty. God, Liberty, I hate it.
You hate freedom?
Like the insurance group.
Oh, Liberty Mutual Insurance?
Yes.
At least their commercials are funny.
Sometimes I hate them, and I hate their stupid jingle that they keep cramming into my head.
Liberty, liberty, liberty,
Yes.
liberty.
And like they have ads.
I like that there's just like this one extra like they forgot.
Like that idea.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. Liberty!
Like, they have so many ads that's just people, that's just that jingle. Like, a 5-second ad that's just that jingle. And I'm like, shut up, you're not clever!
I hope that at least makes you laugh from now on.
Yeah.
The fact that it seems like they forgot a liberty.
That might help. But see, this overexposure, I never thought I'd be that guy, but it's making me resent them.
You will not. Well, that happened with me with
I know that's a thing that you do.
Old Navy. Old Navy's ads in the late 2000 or mid 2000s were so obnoxious to me that I refused to shop at Old Navy.
Right, but I mean that's how I feel. I know McDonald's in there. They've had a lot of really obnoxious songs in their commercials, and I'll never forget them.
Even though you very much want to.
Yes, but if I do remember that, I'm gonna turn away from whatever food item they were singing about. No, I have a grudge now. I don't like being that petty, but just I can't let them benefit from irritating me, or else they'll keep doing it. I know that if they don't win me, it's not worth it. I am their whole target audience.
I do not want to put a dog park next to a train station. That seems horrible.
No, don't do that.
That seems like a terrible idea.
It is bad. But I think I just hate songs in commercials in general.
Now, that's not true. I've actually found a lot of songs I like through commercials.
No, I mean, you can't say it's not true.
No, I mean, like, for me. I don't agree with that as far as my...
Like, original ditties tend to be pretty repetitive, and when they actually bring in actual songs, they always cut around and they skip around and they butcher it.
Yeah, that I do not like. If you're going to implement a song in your commercial,
just go halfway to
at least use a full segment. You can cut in and out.
Use the first bit of a segment and then they'll immediately just cut to the chorus. You gotta have the chorus at least twice during the commercial. Just if you're gonna do the song, just do the song.
I really like when you have heavy opinions about stuff.
I do too. I thought it was good. I'm very passionate about petty things.
It makes for more fun in the videos, in my opinion. Going back and listening to just like your actual thoughts on stuff.
When I'm outraged about things, people.
Well, you don't even have to be outraged. You can
I just think it's funniest when I am outraged.
Yeah, when you're outraged, it is pretty funny. But even just if you have a lot to say on a subject, I find that fun. And I find that fun with people when I'm watching them on stream. I always like it when someone has a lot of thoughts and wants to discuss them. Well, as long as it's not on the taboo subjects like religion or politics. I don't want to talk those because my whole reason for entertainment is to get away from
sexuality.
Sexuality to me falls under the socio-political spectrum, how it's conveyed in those discussions.
Okay. I mean, I have opinions. I'm developing opinions, but this is not the place.
Yes. I mean, I can say my opinions on that. My opinions on that is, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Exactly. And that's pretty close to me. Like, I've been asked, how many genders do you think there are? I'm like, well, I mean, I generally think of people in the gender binary, but I don't really think about it at all.
Yeah, it's one of those where
I don't really care.
If it doesn't, like, if I don't have any of the non-related to me genders, then I don't care.
Exactly.
Let them, whoever they are, have whatever they want. I don't care.
I don't understand anything outside the gender binary. It doesn't make sense to me, but
it's also not my place to care. It doesn't affect me directly.
Again, it comes down to, like I said before, people are gay. Damn it!
Damn it!
That's your argument.
Yeah, and it's one of those
as long as it doesn't directly infringe on your life.
Yeah, it's one of those where, and that's why one of the conversations where people have is about, like, when people, like, say, well, you use my wrong pronouns. I'll apologize and move on and try my best.
See, that...
And that's fine.
That...
But if you harangue me about it, even if I haven't made that mistake, then I do have a problem with that.
Or, like, I've been in role plays where, in game, someone brings up a certain piece of media that is, well, taboo in certain circles. Immediately in the out of character part, they immediately forget to say, no, please, do not mention that. And they insist on the even mention of that being deleted from the post.
See, now there are certain things where I would be like that, like, if a roleplay goes into certain really taboo subjects, I'm done, I don't want to discuss it.
It was just mentioned in passing.
Yeah. If it's a specific direct thing of certain things, I will be like, okay, I'm done with that. I don't find that funny or whatever. But even then, I don't think I've ever really deleted conversations because one thing someone said bothered me in that way.
I just think that I've seen a bit in certain, like, transsexual circles that just... people don't even want to be faced with the fact that certain people or
disagree with them.
Exist.
Yeah. And that's
what of these have even existed, and that baffles me.
And that goes back to, and this is probably the most directly political thing I'll say, kind of a libertarian or, you know, far in, like, middle of the road liberal kind of thing, is what you do, if it doesn't hurt me, I don't care. If it doesn't hurt me or someone else, it's no big deal to me.
Exactly. The way I say is, live and let live. Do as you please, as long as you're not
hurting someone else.
You can do whatever you like, as long as that doesn't impose upon someone else.
Yeah. And that, to me, I feel like if you disagree with that, I would have a lot of trouble coming to an agreement with you. Because I feel like that's a pretty safe mindset for most people.
Right. And when people ask me, like, what side, like, I'm arguing, and I keep, but, you know, saying, I'm just like, dude, people, chill. I'm always that guy.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to just stop.
Yeah, everyone needs to stop being so angry about everything all the time.
Typically, someone will get kicked from the server because you just can't...
Yeah, it ends in flaming. And that's why I hate discussing, like, actual, like...
And then I'll talk to one of them after, and they'll always ask where I stand, and I'll just say, I don't have a strong stance.
Yeah.
My stance is just, I guess we have the exact same stance here of just whatever. My
answer on it is, I don't have the energy to care. I have so many other things I have to worry about in my life that I don't have the energy to care about all that kind of stuff.
I do have the energy, which I suppose I've been proving on stream.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's the thing. When I do have energy to care, I care about bullshit. That's what I use my energy on.
I have the energy. I just legitimately don't care.
Yeah. And that's fine, too. I know people who
Gender,
get outraged.
sexuality, they don't mean anything to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's said it before in here that he's asexual. He doesn't
be.
He might be straight. He doesn't know.
I don't know. But part of that is, I mean, I think this is a little more proof that I don't care, is that I don't really know quite my own orientation, but
it's not really something you use your energy on.
Like, I know a lot of people tear themselves apart over, are they gay or not?
And that for me, okay, when I reached the conclusion that I was pansexual, I didn't really tell anyone, not because I was embarrassed, but because I was like, I don't think anyone really cares enough for me to worry about it.
Exactly.
If you do, then I don't want to associate with you because it has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Unless I'm like trying to date you, then maybe it would matter if you cared.
I'm part of the furry fandom, mildly, and a lot of people there, I'll see people just talking to me like how they can't let their close friends know that they're a furry. I'm like,
really,
dude? Well, first of all,
I think almost everyone at my work knows. Like, that's how much I don't care.
Like, right, and
I mean, especially saying that I was going to a furry convention kind of I mean, at that point, you're not going to be able to be subtle about anything.
Heck, I'm open about my fetishes.
Yeah, which
perhaps a bit too much.
That's one of the things where I would be like, I feel like it's enough information that no one wants to hear about it.
I'll only bring that up if it's relevant or if I'm talking about this. Apparently I brought it up anyway. Damn it.
But I'm just saying, it's one of those where...
But yeah, I'm thinking, like, people are saying, like, no, just... No one can know how they are. And I'm just saying, well, dude, if your friends wouldn't accept you...
Then are
for
they
that,
really
then
your friends?
Yeah, are they really friends?
Yeah.
Dude, these people are your friends. They should be cool with it. And if not, well, you could probably...
You deserve better friends.
Right. You could do better. You probably didn't have... What did you lose?
Yeah.
And
I don't think I've ever told anyone that I am a furry and they've said anything other than, oh, that's weird. And that might be the most.
I mean, generally, it's not even remotely relevant.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
I mean,
with a lot of topics that I see people get heated about whether this is this or that, I don't even see any reason to bring them up most of the time to worry about it.
Nobody at my workplace probably knows I'm a furry. Because it doesn't matter at all. I work in a factory making cups.
Yeah, they'd be like, does that have to do with cups? Because if it doesn't have to do with cups, I don't care.
Right. Just... And on the internet, where I guess it matters a little, I mean, yes, there are a lot of... Well, I think the haters are a vocal minority.
Oh, look, they're running track. So, look at
the planes? Oh, look, he's doing the leg thing.
That's one of my favorite things about this game is how small the details will be.
That it looks like a place?
No, like the fact that people will do stuff like they're running and there are people in the stands, and then later there won't be.
There are more people on the stands than running. They need to change places.
And then if you look around here walking, you'll see like people drop people off. I don't know why you have people from an ambulance dropping off at a sports place, but whatever. That may not be the most realistic thing. Unless maybe... And then like you'll have let's see here. Is there?
Well, there were hitchhikers, and the ambulance got them.
I funded an idea box and created Understanding Fluid Dynamics and won 4 trophies. Not bad.
I didn't realize we have this much in common, though, like, value-wise.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to my thoughts on most politics, I don't have the energy to care. That's the big thing for me.
Well, see, for me, in my eyes, politics actually does take quite a bit of energy to care about.
But that's what I mean. Look, this little guy in a mascot suit, for example, out here partying. Yeah. They're doing flips and running around. And then, so here's all the people going on the stands. Let's see, if I go to the park, sometimes you'll see dogs running around. Let's see here, where is other people at this park? It's night, so they may not be.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Oh, but there's people at the plaza. Are there any dogs at the plaza?
But yeah, people worry too much.
Yeah, here's a doggy.
People worry too much about the haters. I mean, there are gonna be haters, but most people aren't gonna care. Most people just won't care.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, if I went up to 10 people on the street and I said, hey, I'm a furry.
And like, none would be like,
some of them would be like, what the fuck is a furry, first off?
Like, some would be all like, okay.
Yeah.
A couple
and other people would be like,
me too.
And then other people would be like, why the fuck are you talking to me? Who are you?
And one would be all like, well, fuck you. And you just be all like, well,
okay, well, I won't talk to you.
What, like, that one person isn't gonna just disappear. If that one guy hating you ruins your day, then I think you need to reevaluate your own priorities.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the kind of sticks and stones idea.
I feel there are a lot of...
There are words that can hurt you, but for me, words will only hurt me within a given context. If I go to a forum post and I see someone saying, gay people are X, all I think is probably, that guy's an asshole.
I mean,
take it personally because I don't know them and I'll probably never see them.
I mean, I would think this is incorrect, and I need to now explain why this is incorrect.
Jeez, I'm making $100,000 a month right now. I don't think I've ever made that much. Okay, movie theater.
Yeah, generally if words hurt you, it probably comes from someone you actually have some emotional investment in.
Yeah, if someone said, like, if I did tell, say, a coworker who I find to be a friend that I was pansexual, and they
Shunned you for it.
suddenly stopped talking to me, or said, you're sick and disgusting, that might bother me, but mostly at the end of the day, I would be taking away, wow, that person's not as good as I thought they were, or that person... I mean, like, I don't know, I would have a lot more problems. The only reason I would care is because it's someone who I felt I could trust.
Right, you feel somewhat betrayed.
Yeah, it's a betrayal of trust issue, not a
That you've
the
been
words
attacked.
themselves situation.
You set yourself up to an extent, but I suppose you made yourself vulnerable.
Yeah, if I make myself vulnerable and get, knocked for it, that bothers me. But most people's words don't hurt me. When I was in school, words hurt me, and that's why the whole mantra even comes to be, is because you have to kind of tell kids, dude, just don't give a shit. You're never gonna see these people in 5 years.
And that's because in my Discord servers, I see people who will sometimes just one or two wrong words, and it's like you just shot them or something.
Yeah.
They
I mean, for example, I find more vehement hatred towards people who believe that a certain sports team is better than I've ever seen towards someone saying they were gay or not. And I've met the Westboro Baptist Church face to face. I've seen them. And everybody else was like, look at these idiots. That's the most that I saw from them. They were over there spouting their hate. But I've seen people get in fights in public over sports teams.
I haven't, but I mean,
I've seen sports teams win, and the people from that town where the sports teams won broke things in the town they're in celebrating. Why does that make sense?
I rarely see my dad angrier than when he's watching sports ball.
Yeah.
He'll yell at the TV a little bit every now and then.
Yeah. And it's one of those where I don't...
Sports ball is mysterious.
I don't hate sports. I don't care for sports, but I'm not one of those people who think that sports doesn't have a place in society or anything that
But you're not gonna fight for your team.
Yeah, in fact, there's a lot of teams where someone will be like, the team from your town sucks. I'm like, yeah.
See, I don't even know the difference between one team or another. Like, when someone's cheering for a team, I'll be all like, well, what does it matter if this team wins or that team wins? What's the difference? Neither of them, I mean, I get it if it's our team, I guess, but if it's not our team, then I can't tell them apart.
The biggest thing for me is I do like when a semi-local team wins because it's good for the economy of the place where I live.
I mean,
and that's the only reason I really care is because, hey, cool, that means that maybe bands that I like will actually start touring near here.
I mean, if I
like
care at all, it mainly is the matter of I like these colors better than these colors.
Yeah, exactly. They're the orange team. I like them. They're orange.
Or like when I was a kid, I'd go bowling every week. I had the little toy dispensers. I'd collect little plastic football helmets. I'm like, look at all these little mascot logo-y things. I want to collect them. They're neat. What the heck are browns?
Exactly.
They're brown, so why are they orange? What is this?
And that's the thing. I know definitely more than you when it comes to sports.
Yes.
Even though I'm not particularly, I don't
recently realized that run ball is a strategy game.
I don't have any strong opinions about any particular sports team. I don't. Like,
Neither do I.
local or non-local. The only reason I care at all about is I'm never one of those, yes, we won things, because I'm like, I didn't do shit.
When our team wins,
sat and scratched my head.
I feel the tiniest spark of pride, and I think, oh, I'm going to be hearing about this all week now.
Yeah, and when I had family locally who was in law enforcement in a place like that, I didn't want my local teams to win because I knew that, one, that meant that they wouldn't get to be home on what would have otherwise been their day off.
Because people
and
are
two,
out being idiots.
people would be an idiot and they'd have to deal with that. And I didn't like that. So I actually was really against my local sports teams winning during the time when I had family in law enforcement.
Because people would celebrate by being idiots.
Yeah.
People are strange.
Yeah. And so, but again, I've seen people much more vocal and violent and stupid and angry and dangerous about sports than I ever have about anything except, like, elections. And I don't want to ever talk elections. I don't want to talk religion with people because all it does is make people so mad, and I don't want other people to be mad, and I don't want to be mad. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
And see, I'm still trying to find the cure for being angry on the internet.
There's no such cure.
But I'm still trying. Just when people explode, I'm like, how could this have been prevented? What could I have done? I just acknowledged that they mentioned a tiger shark when they said it was a nurse shark before. Then someone points out, just starts throwing out tiger shark trivia, and then someone else points out, no one asked for your trivia, and spouting trivia does not substitute for having a personality. And I'm like,
what are you even talking about?
I mean, that did happen, and I'm sad now.
I really like how specific that example was. That makes me very happy.
Just
why? You're like, but it's a shark, and that's it. It was a shark. That's all. All we said was that it was a shark.
If I hadn't brought up this tiny discrepancy between species, perhaps this person wouldn't have gotten kicked from the role play. Why are you even fighting? I thought the tiger shark trivia was perfectly fine. Where am I?
And that's what I mean. That's when. Who has that kind of energy to be that angry about such little things?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, I think it was just one volatile person and a newcomer and a slightly volatile regular. Just, I guess they had bad chemistry and they exploded.
Yeah, and that's.
Because this newcomer has exploded multiple times on multiple different servers, so this was, even if it wasn't about the sharks, this was inevitably going to happen.
Yeah,
because they keep exploding. I guess some people are just more mentally unstable.
But I really like that you had such a weird example because it keeps you from getting into something that could possibly get to like an argument. By being absolutely ridiculous.
I was hoping that going to the details there would make it sillier.
The nurse shark. And the trivia, and you don't have a personality, and what?
I mean, that's sort of how I felt reading that argument I was like an hour late for. That's sort of how I felt. I was like, wait. What led to this accusation? So I scroll up a bit. I'm like, no, where did that come from? Even I don't understand. No one said anything about.
How is this relevant?
I mean, I have a lot to say about this argument. It's too late now, but I'm not sure what I would have said if I had been there.
That's like there are so many times where I have been on some sort of server. Discord conversation, whatever, where the people involved will leave the server who I'm friends with, and I won't know about it until afterwards, and it's because they had some fight with someone else that I didn't see.
And then when you come there and you see that they left, you're just like,
I'm sad because I don't know where they are, and I'm never gonna see them again.
And you're also like, God damn it, why does this keep happening?
Yeah, no.
Not this again.
Yeah, I've had so many times where, like, I've probably permanently lost friends because of something that I didn't even see happen.
See, where I'm from, I'd say there's like a 3 in 4 chance that they'll come back in a bit. Sometimes they don't, but they usually do. And
No, I've had people who I don't think I'll ever see. I've had people who I'm genuinely worried about their health that I'll never see again because I don't know what happened, but I know enough about their personality that it could be personal endangerment, and I don't want that to happen to
I've seen
someone.
people on Discord who do seem to be very
Unstable.
emotionally compromised.
Yeah.
And who will, like once or twice a day, just go on a rant in the rant channel about how garbage they are.
Oh, I've had that. I've been that guy. I've definitely been that guy.
I'm still trying to figure out what to do about that, because on one hand I feel the mere right thing to do is for me to, I've never seen them do anything that makes them garbage-like, so I'm going to refute them. I will insist, no, there's no evidence supporting your claims of being garbage. Not also, me and like 5 other people are immediately jumping in and agreeing that no, you're fine.
Yep.
But I've also heard that
Social interaction is difficult.
Right, I don't expect this to actually help because there's a deeper underlying problem I can't quite reach. Are my words still, are they good? Are they helpful? They have good intent, but is that enough to make them good?
Yeah.
Is just trying to be supportive good enough? Or am I possibly doing more harm?
Yeah. And I've definitely had both sides of that with things I've tried to do. I've tried to be helpful to people and realized that all I was doing was making things worse.
Right, I know that sometimes when...
I've had times where I had to just stop being friends with someone because I realized our personalities don't mesh enough and all we're doing is making each other upset despite trying to be nice to each
I
other.
know sometimes when you were in a bit of a slump, my efforts to be comforting would come across as more patronizing or dismissive.
And that can happen too.
Right.
There's been times where like I've, felt like complete garbage. And I will, say, I'm worthless or whatever, and I've never been a self-harm risk, and I always preface that when people are talking about that, because I know there are actually people who, if there's that energy that's necessary and someone can provide it, they need to provide it to someone who actually is a danger to themselves.
Right, and you understand that.
Whereas for me, I know
it's
it's
yourself. There's just too many people who would hurt from it.
Yeah, and
so you couldn't do it.
And so when I'm in a bad mood, I'll talk a bunch of shit about myself.
See,
but I will mostly just need to throw it all out there, make a couple of stupid jokes that I'm pretty sure aren't true, and move on. And usually it goes away. I'm never going to be that guy who thinks positive of himself. I'm not. And I know that upsets people.
I mean,
it upsets my family, and I hate that because I hate upsetting my family.
It does make me sad, but I understand what it's like to believe something that you don't want to believe or feel a way you don't want to feel.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want to think highly of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you'd feel better if you did.
Yeah, I would love to be proud of myself for the achievements that I have done, and I have made achievements.
You can't just decide to believe or feel a certain way.
And that's...
I just decide to always be happy, I would just always be happy.
Yeah, tiptoeing the line, actually going into religion. I've had people who say, well, why do you not believe this? I'm like, I can't pick whether I want to believe or not.
I mean, from a purely logical standpoint, you absolutely want to believe the religion. That is correct.
Yeah.
Unless it's atheism, because atheism doesn't give you anything if it's correct.
Yeah. But that's the conclusion that I drew, is I don't believe in anything. And I will say, I know a lot of actually even fairly polar religious people, and a lot of them are like, fine. I mean, I will pray for you or whatever, and that doesn't offend me.
Right.
At one point it did when I was an angsty asshole teenager. Sure, I was
you had a poem called "Don't Save Me."
Yeah. I had, my angsty
Along with
emo...
"Death by Pineapple."
Death by Pineapple. I don't remember that one.
I think the whole poem is just, "Those spikes aren't for decoration." Is I think.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of 6-word poems. If you can call them a poem.
Yeah. It was offbeat.
I did. Yeah, I had lots of.
Yeah, no. I want to be Christian because I think my family would be very happy about it, and if it's the correct religion, there are a lot of perks.
Yeah, you like the things that could come from it being true.
Yes, and there are some good messages attached. It's just, I tried and I don't know what happened, but at the end of the day, I guess there were some absolute promises laid forth, and they just don't seem true.
Yeah, they just don't seem like something that you could draw. And that's...
Like, there was absolute, and my church said that if you pray for something in the Son's name, it will be given to you as an absolute. I'm like, well, that can't be. Fine, I'll give it a shot. Nothing.
Yeah.
Or just...
And then they'll say things like,
faith is being able to believe without proof.
And also things like, do not test your God or whatever, and, those make it more difficult.
I'm saying I want to see a miracle. I want to see something that will make me believe.
Yeah.
And my mother, who is much more devout, says, well, you're not getting anything because you don't believe. Well, isn't that a bit of a catch-22 right there?
Yeah, and that's again.
The whole
I have matured enough as a person from my angsty teenager days to where I can say, whatever religion you are, again, if you're not hurting anyone, fine. I'm fine with it. I'm happy because I want you to live the life that makes you happy. And so, like, if you have concluded that that's the religion that is correct for you, then that's fine. As long as it's not harming anyone else. If it brings you peace or makes you feel comfortable or whatever, then that's fine. But I just don't agree. And I don't think I've ever encountered anyone who's been as big in opposition who I actually valued their opinion. Like, I've seen, street preachers and whatever.
Right.
But that's a totally different can of worms.
Again, all I feel like gotten from Christianity is, again, like modern Christianity sects, they often do have they're big proponents of love and forgiveness, and those are things that I think are really valuable.
Yeah, which I do appreciate.
Right, as do I. I even though I feel like falling from Christianity, I feel I've taken something of value from it all.
Yeah.
That's hate the sin, not the sinner.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes, just we're all
What I do have a problem with are the ones who preach that and then don't.
Right.
And that, again, is not even... At this point, it's not even an indictment of religion. It's an indictment of that person's character.
Exactly.
Because they've chosen...
Stop it.
Yeah. You just drove straight through the fort. Oh, well.
Damn it.
No big deal. This game. That's one thing that their collision detection is
Clipping.
a little jank on. It has some janky collisions.
It's true when you have too many planes.
Yeah, where they just all become one plain Voltron. That was funny.
But yeah, I'm fine with most religions that don't tell you to go out and kill the non-believers.
Yeah.
Or even the religions that do, as long as no one actually does that.
Yeah, if it's one of those where like, oh, it was a weird thing from 250 years ago or 1,000 years ago.
The Old Testament kind of is bad about that. They were really bad about that.
Yeah. And it's one of those
modern
where...
Christianity just sort of...
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it says that, but don't do that. No, why would you do that?
But if you look further ahead, that's been negated. That doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah.
You can eat pigs again.
Yeah.
And not kill people.
Yeah, it's gone from the kill people back to the don't kill people.
Yeah. Very progressive. Not killing people.
I am a huge proponent of the not killing of regular people.
And of eating pigs. Kill the pigs.
But if you do it humanely.
Yeah. Like, kill them before eating them.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be probably horrified if the opposite were the case.
I mean, the pig's probably not going to be too nice about that either. Yeah. Now we're just talking about nonsense, but...
Like eating pigs while they're still alive?
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty bad thing.
It's nonsense.
But it also seems like bad nonsense.
Yes.
It sounds like I don't endorse those actions.
Yeah, it sounds like our experiences on the internet are finally starting to become similar.
Yeah, but are you going bananas? Or are you going cocoa nuts?
Never.
Cocoa nuts?
Ryu does that, but I don't play Ryu.
What's his line?
Oh, just one of his moves. I don't know what it is. Like, I think he's saying Baku nuts or something, but he's just going, coconuts!
Oh, so he does go coconuts.
I think he does. When he's using his, like, exploding Hadouken. And then there's Terry's, "Are you okay?" Which has become something of a small meme.
Oh, is it like,
Okay.
Yeah, he's just like, "Are you okay?" because he's very English.
let's see here.
But yeah, I guess you can't really fight depression with logic alone.
Yeah.
Which really sucks, because depression's usually pretty illogical.
Yeah, and depression, and I will say this, depression is horrible. It is absolutely terrible.
Yes, yeah, and I agree, and that's from someone who has only ever been mildly depressed.
I have...
It sucks.
Yeah, I've been clinically depressed for a few years now, probably a little over a decade.
You just...
and I'm medicated, and there are days where, like, it is hard to wake up. It is hard to get up. It's hard to make yourself... I've had days where I want to play a video game, and I don't feel the emotional comfort to get up and play a video game, even if it's not like streaming, just playing a video game.
I mean, I've had days where I just don't really feel like doing anything, but...
Yeah, I'll have days where I have a plan of a thing I want to do, and I can't get myself to do it because I just don't have the fortitude.
Depression's also really nasty dealing with from the outside also, because you see this person here and you know that they're just...
Oh yeah, no.
They're hurting, like they're tired and they feel bad about the world, about themselves, and you know because you've tried so many times before, but you're not gonna be able to turn them around.
Yeah, and the other one is...
But you can't just do nothing, right? You have to try.
The other one is, from the inside, a person who is dealing directly with depression, who's struggling through it, a common question people will ask is, why are you depressed?
Nobody knows.
And
it's brain chemistry.
And it's from a good place, and people mean well by asking it, but you can become, like, irrationally angry at that question because you don't know, and then you feel like you're defective because you can't answer what seems like a really simple question. Why are you angry? Well, I have no idea.
Answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I have no clue. And then they're like, well, if nothing's wrong, I've only heard this a couple times, but if nothing's wrong, then how are you depressed?
I wouldn't say
and
that's
if you get to if you get to that point,
the question isn't how are you depressed, it's why are you depressed. Again, what the answer will be, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I've had a couple of people who've said, if nothing's wrong, then how can you be depressed?
And I'd say they must have a blessed existence.
Yeah, and I was just like...
As someone who's been mildly depressed before, or at least I think I have.
It's just like, I was baffled when I heard that, because I was like, are you not understanding? It's not like a thing... Oh, wow, I need to put some libraries down on some dead people.
But yeah, from what I understand, the defining experience of depression is being tired, right?
Feeling tired. A lot of people think, and this has been debunked by a lot of people as well, but a lot of people think that
It's just
depression is being sad. But a lot more often, depression is feeling numb to emotion. There's a lot of times where when I'm depressed, I can't feel anything. And one thing, so I have...
It's a bad kind of nothing?
Yeah. It's when I feel like I should be feeling something, and I can't.
So it sounds frustrating.
Yeah, and sometimes what'll end up happening is... So I am specifically diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and then depression. And between the two of them, sometimes you'll get... it's not really alexithymia. Alexithymia is a situation where a person doesn't feel emotions correctly, and so whenever they feel anything, be it happiness or sadness or whatever, they get a sense of anxiety because in their head something's wrong, but they don't know what. Which is kind of how it feels sometimes. But there are a lot of times where things that I feel like I should be happy about or excite... Oh, the biggest one is I cannot, under any circumstance, 0% of circumstances, I cannot feel excited about something.
That is...
I can feel worried about something. But that's usually what I'll feel. When I got to go to the convention that I had planned for 6 months for, that I knew what I was going for and that I wanted to be there, and I was, whatever. I was in, panic mode from a week before I went until about 2 weeks after I got back.
You seemed happy about it.
Yeah, I had fun there, and when I was in the middle of doing stuff, whatever. Second I would get back to my hotel room and start laying down, I couldn't sleep, my stomach hurt all the time, I got up a couple times in the middle of the night and threw up.
I did notice that after you have these highs, you do have some really big lows.
Yeah, and that's true of a lot of... You'll find that with a lot of people. It's called post-con funk, post-con depression.
What is excitement?
Excitement is when you're... I used to be able to feel excitement. I do have an experience. I have a qualia of excitement. Excitement to me feels very similar to anxiety. Anxiety being where I have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that something is wrong all the time. And I need to figure out what it is and get it fixed, even if there isn't actually something wrong and nothing really needs to be fixed.
And that's when it's generalized anxiety. When you're anxious over nothing in particular.
Yeah. And so that's what anxiety feels like. But excitement, from the few times I still occasionally feel it, like when I get to go to a con locally where I don't have to worry about things like travel and expenses and stuff, I have a lot less of the anxiety and I can get a little bit more close to the excitement I used to feel. But I felt it a lot as a kid, especially around things like Christmas and things where you have family events, and when you're a kid you get, free stuff in boxes and they're wrapped and sparkly and there's lights everywhere and everyone's happy before you get sick and tired of Christmas music. And excitement for me at those times did feel very similar, except instead of feeling this weight in the pit of my stomach, it almost felt like, when you're... Have you ever been on a roller coaster?
Oh, long ago.
When you go on a roller coaster, there's a point where you hit a drop, and what happens is gravity is no longer pulling on your organs the way it normally does, so you get this weird well in the middle of your stomach where your body feels kind of
oh boy, here we go?
Yeah, well, no, it's actually because... So, the way you naturally feel, there's a sense of weight in your stomach that your brain ignores because it's always there. Your organs are always pushing down. But when you hit the drop in a roller coaster, or if you're on like a really fast spinning ride or something like that, for example, that gravity is no longer pushing down, and so your body feels the not weight that's there, because traditionally it would be sensing weight there, so something's different.
So it's a lightness.
Yeah, and that kind of inverted anxiety where you have not a weight in my stomach, but I feel really light, and I have a lot of energy and want to go do things really fast and want to get things done and go have a good time and whatever. That was excitement.
I see.
And sometimes I do still feel, like I said, when there's a local con and I get to go to it, I have a lot of excitement. I feel I would have more excitement if I went with people, but I can only do what I can do because not everyone's interested in the same thing as me.
So excitement is a feeling of empowerment.
Yeah. Excitement basically is like anxiety minus the negativity. I mean, that sounds...
Anti-anxiety.
Yeah. It's...
So, see...
And it's
I always
great.
thought of anxiety and excitement as a sensation of woohoo, this is fun. I'm not sure I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, it's...
I don't ever really feel, oh man, this is fun. I will sometimes think, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and that's another thing where it, comes down to certain personalities. And one of the things is, for me, especially after getting GAD, is very often I just can't feel excitement. Like I said, it still very, very rarely happens.
I mean, I do sometimes feel uncomfortably numb, like, for instance...
So you feel like a Pink Floyd song?
No, that's comfortably numb.
Oh, that's right, it's the opposite.
Yes.
You're an un-Pink Floyd song.
Yes, it's like, what is the opposite of pink even? What can you do?
Well, it would be a color that actually exists.
Oh, I'm just any other kind of Floyd, then.
The other Floyds.
I'm some kind of...
Green Floyd, for example?
Yeah, I'm a Floyd that isn't pink. But yeah, when I heard about...
Green Nigel, that's what it is. No, it'd be a lady name.
When I heard about your dog, I didn't feel a lot, and I hated that. I need to feel bad.
And okay, so that's a good example. When you told me about Tasha, one, I was really worried about our mutual friend, who also I felt
he was there to see it.
Yeah, who I probably felt horribly guilty, because he would have felt, even though Tasha didn't, he didn't make Tasha follow him. It just so happened that she followed a little too close, or followed a little too far, and got hit by a vehicle. And I
was upset naturally because
it was your dog.
Yes.
Yeah. And I did feel really bad, but obviously not as bad as someone who I, saw literally every day.
Right.
But I do remember, like, one of the first things I did was try to get in contact with you to see how you were doing. But there are times where, like, it'll be like you said. I know that I should be feeling something and I can't.
Exactly. That's why I could say to you is, I don't know what to say, is because I had nothing to say.
Yeah.
I did manage to eventually get rid of something, but that was more me thinking about dealing with the aftermath. Then I cried a bit.
Yeah.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, and so when this all happened, so what happened was last month my dog got a really fast growing brain tumor that was inoperable, and we knew we didn't have much time. I burned myself out so much that the day I expected it to happen.
No, I mean, I understand that.
I was numb most of the day. I didn't have any emotions at all. I went to work, and I was thinking, when I get home, he's gonna be gone, and that's it. And I was done. I figured, okay, I've moved past this. I've done everything I can. I gave him as much spoiling as I could a dog in a month. We gave him food, we gave him pets, we played with him as much as he could play until he started getting so tired that he couldn't play anymore. I mean, we did everything we could. I had that day at work, and I was really, 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 really just exhausted. Just 100% exhausted. And I was like, at least it's over. Well, I wasn't the only one in the family having trouble. And there were a couple decisions made, and they didn't put him down that day. They waited to see whether... Because one of the things they did was he had a lot of swelling, and they had him had the swelling and stuff cleaned out to see if they could get rid of some of the infection, see how long he had, and the answer they were given was 5 days. And the answer wasn't, he's gonna be fine for 5 days. It was, you have 5 days to make this decision, or else it's gonna start being a problem. And so he came back home, and we had one more day to spend with him. And having gotten to spend that day, I'm glad I got that extra day. I really am. But I was a wreck that whole day.
I mean...
Because I was thinking, I thought it was done. I thought I could move on. I thought it was over. Yeah. I thought I was past this. And I didn't resent the decision, because I can tell you, it would have been the exact same decision I would have made. I would have been trying and trying and trying for every last second.
And I totally get that.
But it did. It hit like a truck that last day, and I had a hell of a time yesterday. I almost tried to invite you over yesterday too, but he didn't go in until 2:30, and I knew that if you got here at 3, I was going to be a complete wreck.
Yeah, I was worried you wouldn't be okay for today, and I'm surprised how well you're holding up.
And there's a reason for that. I think as much as it was a nightmare of a month, the whole month of, you know, spending as much... I mean, I spent most of my time laying on a linoleum floor for a month next to my dog, petting him, giving him treats, everything I could think of to do.
See, with Posh and Amber, it was just
a day. And you don't know. And that, I've had both. I've had both.
It's a mixed...
They are both... They're both mixed bags. With Bo, he had a stroke, and we knew that night we had to do something, because he couldn't get up, but he kept trying to, and we were afraid he was going to get himself hurt. So we had no time. I had, I think, an hour to process what had happened. And
so really all the pain was in the aftermath.
Yeah.
And the reflecting.
And it was seeing him struggle was probably one of the most emotionally draining things I could have experienced. I was bawling like a baby.
Seeing a sick dog is terrible. Like, I know Amber occasionally would have, like, seizures or fits, and no, you hate to see it. It's the worst.
And
it just because you can't do anything.
Yeah. And so when it happened with Bo, I had very little time to process. And I did recover sort of fast. I still think I probably had a lot more bitterness at that time because of it, because it was just so incomprehensible. But I also think some of my emotion was deadened because I lost 3 dogs in that year, and by the time I lost that third one, I didn't even have, like, the energy anymore. Because I mean, it felt like the world was collapsing by the time I got to that third one. They all hit back to back to back, and it was really hard. But with this one, where I did have a month, and it was an awful month. I spent days where I didn't talk to anyone. I went to work, and I came home and laid on the floor with my dog, and that was all I did.
You seem to have...
But I think that's why. I think having that whole month to process it, once it happened, and that day, again, actually going through it that day was brutal. But I'm at the point now where I know I got to spend that whole month doing everything I could to try and make that last month as good as I could. And
it really is a completely different experience then.
Yeah.
It's painful, but in a different way.
Yeah, and I'm
And
sure
it
I'll
seems that
still
the
have...
aftermath is a bit easier.
Sort of. I still think I'll have a few days here and there for a while where it's gonna just, hit in waves again and again. But I do think that getting the opportunity to actually spend time with the dogs and make sure that they understood that I loved them, I think that made it a lot easier to process.
You don't have regrets.
Yeah.
Because you did everything you could have possibly done.
Yeah, which, with the first dog I lost, I was 14 years old. Happened in 2004. I can tell you right now, the date was Izzy's birthday, 2004. June 26, 2004. I know it. I know it exactly. I know the day it happened because it was the first time that had ever happened to me, and it hit me like a freight truck, and it took a month for me to start eating correctly. I was so upset.
See, I guess you just must be more emotional than me, because
I'm brutally emotional. I've told people who've said, I've been told multiple times I have a big heart, which my depression side of me obviously says no, I don't. But the part of me that wants to grasp and be a human says my heart is too big for my own good.
You definitely have more emotional energy than I do.
Yeah, because, and the reason I say my heart is too big for my own good is because if I get to a point where I'm emotional, I can disrupt what I'm trying to get through in my life with those emotions. I get attached to people very, very fast. I get I get upset at things really easily that probably I shouldn't. I mean, the easiest example is I won't play competitive video games because I get so emotionally invested that if I start losing, I get angry really, really fast. And so instead of ruining everyone else's fun where they are having fun with the competition, I felt the easiest way to do it is I just don't play competitive games because
you're not going to enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, because I don't.
The brain really is incomprehensible.
And so I just feel like it's just not fair to other people if I become a dick.
It's not fair to you, but if you don't enjoy it, I guess what's the point?
Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't find any fun in really competitive situations because I always just end up are you kidding me? Come on now, man. I didn't want. How much have I spent moving this fucking thing? It's $32,000 every time I move it, and it's not connecting with the road. Shit. But yeah, I don't feel any fun in doing it anyway, so why add the extra layer of frustration into other people's lives on top of it by becoming a petty little child about it when it's just so much easier to just not do it because I don't enjoy it anyway. There we go.
I've already grieved for Roxy once a couple winters ago when I thought I'd lost her, but
yeah. And
I feel I grieved as much then as I did during actual losses.
That's
But I guess at least that has a positive payout in the end.
Yeah, you got. And
because
I kind of think
because I guess when I found out that no, she was back, I actually cried in joy.
Yeah. And I did end up having this kind of pseudo-philosophical kind of thought come yesterday that was at least fulfilling to me, which was for every sad goodbye, there had to have been a happy hello that went with it. And so the fact that I did get to have the happy excitement of seeing my dog for the first time and getting to spend that time with him and play with him for
Right. Again,
even if it was only 8 years,
there
was still something I'm thankful
there was
for.
still a good amount of love given and received
Yes.
to make it all worth it.
And so
And I can look back at Amber and say the same thing.
I'm very, very happy that I got to have the dog I did.
You
My
can
dog
look at it
was
from a
wonderful
bittersweet angle.
Yes. And it just sucks that the bitter has to be so bitter.
You know, better to have loved and lost, as they say.
Yeah, which is more usually a romantic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still... It can be interpreted this way if you want. That's a very me thing to say.
But yeah, so... Do I not have anywhere to put this damn thing? I need to have my St. Louis Gateway Arch! Come on!
Just put it on the library.
There are no libraries, and there's not enough dead
Well,
people.
you need to build a library so you can put the arch on.
Okay, I found a place. But that's in the middle of a residential area. That's kind of weird to put a park there. I mean, I guess...
I actually need to get going.
Oh yeah, you gotta work tomorrow?
Yeah, but I was enjoying myself, actually. This was a fun, not video gamey set of conversations.
But to me, I don't care what we're talking about as long as,
Right.
you know...
I just enjoy talking about things I just enjoy talking passionately about things.
That's why I wish I could stream more often. I wish that we had more days sync up.
Again, I wish I could just pull this out of myself more often.
I wish we had days that synced up more often because I enjoy having these conversations and I hate streams where I'm not talking, and so that's
So do
why I
I.
almost never stream when I don't have someone here.
And again, I can't just make myself have things to say. If I could, that'd be great, because I also wish my throat was a bit stronger today, because I'm sure you noticed I did run out a bit.
I do hate the crud that's going around like right now. It's pretty awful.
I
right
do
now,
hope
but-
you've built up a resistance to it by now.
Oh, I mean, I've been around so many people at work.
I must disappear so I can fall asleep in
Yeah.
time to wake up.
I'm gonna have to kick him out, so this will probably be the end here pretty soon.
I'm gonna crinkle this can.
How rude of you.
Wow.
Let me see here. What do we got? So, I don't know. We do have a watcher at the moment. And Ringer is still going, so I'm going to raid Ringer. Alright, so we're gonna hop on over there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day, night, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Hope to see you again real soon. And take care.